doing a little day in the life here at home, going through the program. So after that, I'm Danae, and I'm a part of our team here at Vitalize Weight Loss and Wellness. Similar to the rest of our staff, I've gone through the program myself. And as I was preparing to start, I remember thinking, how am I gonna fit all of these things and routines into my daily life? And so I'm not sure if you're wrestling with that same question, but if so, I thought I'd just open up my home and have you follow me along for the morning so you get an idea of what a day in the life might look like during your time on the Vitalize program. So what we'll cover today is just what it looks like to weigh in the mornings, some of your daily supplement routines, some cooking protocol, as well as just other tips. What are you doing? What? Just doing a little day in the life here at home, going through the program. So after that, as you just kind of see a day in the life and the daily routines of some of the protocols, then that just threw me for a loop. But what we're gonna go over, everything today is also listed on your program overview sheet. I've got a copy of that here, and you should have a similar copy right in front of you. But the first things you'll notice at the top are contact information. You see our client support line. This is huge. Just tips, tricks, rescheduling if you have questions for us. If you're wondering if something's normal, something's atypical, feel free to reach out to us. Call or text. We are here to help. And so that is a number only for you. That's not something you're going to find online. So make sure you add that into your phone before you even leave today. The next number you see on that program overview sheet is our doctor's personal cell. If you have any medical or health related questions, do not hesitate to reach out to him via call or text as well, and he'd love to help you with that. And then the last number that you see there is HAL. HAL stands for Healthy Alternative Living, and it's actually our bot program. So every day you're gonna be weighing in and you'll text that weight to HAL. He'll send you an automated response verifying that he received your weight, but you may also get some text back from some of the members on our staff, because we're going to be monitoring your progress not just weekly but on a daily basis as well. So all those pieces of information are there. Go ahead and add those numbers to your cell so you've got those handy and ready to go. Bottom line is that we're here to help. No silent suffering. You're never alone. Like I said before, I've gone through it. My family members have gone through this program. And so just know that we're only a call, a text away if you need anything or feeling stuck or just need a little extra support. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much for trusting Vitalize to help you reach your weight loss and your wellness goals and join you on this weight loss journey. We're excited to partner with you. So I hope this video helps just as you're following along, kind of watching what a day in my life might look like. I hope it leaves you feeling confident and excited to jump in and get started with your own daily routine. So the first thing I do every morning when I wake up is step on the scale. That way I have a consistent weigh-in daily. Normally what I do is use the restroom and then step on the scale naked. However, with the cameras here today, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. What I've got here is a travel scale that we sell in the office, but I love it just for daily use. It's small, low profile for sitting out in my bathroom, but it's also awesome to stick in a carry-on. So when I travel, I have a consistent weigh-in, whether it's home or away. So as long as you have a scale that measures in tenths of a pound and it's digital at home, that's a great one that you can be using too. Perfect. What I do pretty much immediately after stepping off the scale is go ahead and text Hal. So I'm gonna open up a new text message and just shoot him a text with my weight today. Otherwise, I know by the end of the day I'll forget what it was or I'll forget to text, and so I just like to get it done and have it out of the way. The next thing I do each morning is my Vitalize formula. Tap it against my hand a few times, it's called succussing it, and then I'm careful to measure 0.5 milliliters. So I just fill up the dropper like this, make sure it's about even because the bottle's 40 days worth, so I just want to be careful there. And I'll go ahead and put it under my tongue. I leave it under my tongue for 2 minutes, and then I make sure I set the timer on my phone that I don't eat or drink for 15 minutes afterwards. Big deal because I don't want to wash it away. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Set my timer for 15 minutes. Then I'll go ahead, get changed, do my makeup, get ready for work. By the time my timer goes off, I'm ready to brush my teeth and head downstairs for coffee. Now you've seen the first part of my morning routine, and I'm gonna walk you through the last part. which is basically getting my supplements ready for the day as well as prepping my lunch to take. And I know this is a lot of information for you as you hear it for the first time, but you've got our client support line. So feel free, call, text. We're only a text away. We can help in whatever way you need, even in between appointments. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my supplements. I like to have everything ready to go at the beginning of the week, so I've got things set up in my pill case here. All I do is pop this out, and these are the ones that I'm taking with me today. I'm gonna go ahead and take these morning ones right now, and then I'll have my lunch and evening ones with me depending on what time I leave work. Hey, morning. What I've also got are my next two supplements. Now these ones are unique to me. You'll have your list of unique supplements according to your bioscan when you get that in just a moment. These two, however, will overlap for both of us. This is the Mineral Life. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and fill up a bottle of water, and I'm gonna put a certain number of drops, as are apparent from my bioscan, in my bottle of water. And this is one that I'm gonna sip on all day. It is a bit detoxifying, so I wanna make sure I don't chug it. This is great, and I'm just gonna take this with me on the go. In another bottle of water here, I'm gonna put my fizzy tablet. The fizzy tablets are a really powerful antioxidant, and so they're great helping with cellular functions and repair. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this bottle of water ready, and then I'll put my fizzy tablet in it and wait until the tab dissolves fully before I go ahead and start drinking it. While I'm really making this one last all day, I can go ahead and finish my fizzy in only a few hours. So, these are my two morning supplements in terms of water. Water is so important at this stage in the program. Hydration is key. So, I'm probably gonna need to make sure when this one's gone, I refill this water bottle a couple times while I'm at work. Sometimes I like to take with me some of these water drops. They're great for adding some flavor to water, especially when you get bored of drinking the same thing over and over again. So I'm probably gonna pack that in my bag to take today too. Another secret weapon when it comes to hydration is pink salt. Pink salt is key for helping with hydration at a cellular level. It contains a large amount of trace minerals, which help our body to absorb the water that it's getting. So we recommend a half a teaspoon a day per person. I have no problem getting that in on my food, as I love salt, but sometimes just to double check, I actually will measure out a half a teaspoon into this little container, and I'll set this next to the stove. I wanna make sure this entire amount is gone before the end of the day. And if I haven't used it all in food, I'll just add some water to the remaining bit here and just drink it down. So that's no problem either. Now that we've got that ready, I'm gonna go ahead and get my lunch started. So I've enlisted the help of my husband, Dan, with some of the meal prep for today. We're getting ready to make our lunches, but when it comes to food prep, we generally say stick to the 2 by 2 by 2 by tons rule. 2, the first 2, stands for 2 meals a day. For us, that's generally lunch and dinner.
For some folks who keep weird hours, we generally just say keep it within an 8-hour eating window. So if that's eating lunch at noon, you're finishing up around 8 p.m., snacking in between if you want. Some folks will eat earlier in the morning, and they're finishing up a little bit earlier in the late afternoon or evening.
The second 2 has to do with 2 different proteins. The idea is if we have a protein today, we want to do a different one the next day. So every other day allows the body to get a wide spectrum of nutrition.
That too.
And so that's the second 2. The third 2 has to do with 2 different fruits a day. So if I do an apple for lunch, I'll probably do an orange for dinner, or vice versa. But the idea is don't do 2 apples in a day. And the tons is where this comes in. Tons of veggies. Unlimited veggies throughout the day, but our bare minimum is 16 to 20. So Dan's helping me cut because it's quite a bit.
I'm gonna jump into that 16 to 20 ounces is not volume, but weight. So we do want you weighing your veggies. That's a pound of veggies a day. That's a lot. It's very voluminous. We're kind of flipping the traditional American diet on its head. It's gonna be a lot of plants, still having healthy proteins, but that tons rule, we really want you to stick to it because vegetables have a lot of phytonutrients that help repair you at the cellular level.
And so I know kind of the idea of weighing food may be foreign for most of you, or even the idea of a food scale could be somewhat intimidating. But just like I showed you the scale that I use for body weight, I'm gonna show you what I use to weigh my food here as well. This is a nice kind of small scale. We sell it right here in the office. It's great, super user-friendly. But I went ahead, I already turned it on, and I just made sure I'm measuring in ounces. And I'm gonna go ahead and stick this Tupperware on top, as this is where I'm gonna load my veggies for lunch. Because I don't want to weigh the weight of the container, I'm actually just going to hit tare, so it goes to 0. And now I'm just going to start filling it up. You dump it in? Go for it. Okay. That right there is about 9.5 ounces. I'm going to try and go for 12 just for lunch, because I want to make sure I am nice. I got a long day ahead of me. So this right here is about 12 ounces, and we'll make Dan's probably 16 even just for lunch. What I've got for protein today, canned tuna. I'm keeping it quick, keeping it easy today, so I'm just gonna stick this in my lunch bag, and I'm just gonna do, this is a 5 ounce, just make sure it's in water, not in oil, and this is a great alternative to having to prep or cook in the morning if you wanna keep things short and quick.
Can we have salmon?
No, salmon is high in the fatties, omega-3 fatty acids, so salmon will not be appearing on your list, so steer clear of that.
What about carrots?
Carrots, no, it's not on the list.
Oh, they're so
Don't
easy
eat
to
it.
snack on.
But carrots are higher in sugar, which is why in this stage we're staying away from them. Oh, and Dan was dipping his veggies in pink salt. I should be sprinkling some pink salt on my veggies too, just because it's a great way to get them in throughout the day. And I actually love, this is one of the seasonings that we sell here in the office. It's great to use on food, but it's got a little bit of a kick to it. It's the sweet and spicy. But herbs, seasonings, spices are great to use. Give your food lots of flavor in this stage.
What about mustard?
Mustard's awesome. Just read the ingredients, make sure there are no hidden sugars or oils, and you're good to go. So, will you grab me an orange from the fridge? I'm gonna do that for my fruit. Perfect. Great, and if you want to just get your veggies set.
All right.
I'm just gonna take a can opener and straight up, speaking of mustard, I'm gonna grab that from the fridge to take with my canned tuna today. And another thing that I love are these little travel packets of dressings. We have these in the office, but they're great. I can just stick them in my bag, use them on my tuna, dip my veggies on them, but it's great to get some extra flavor, especially when I'm just bringing canned tuna. So I'm gonna take all these things with me, and I'm pretty much good to go whenever you are.
I'm always a little bit slower to these things.
So what I'm gonna do is take some time to just fill in my journal. One of the things that you'll see here is that there is a checkbox and a blank for everything. Our philosophy is what gets measured gets managed. So use this diligently. And be sure, bring it into your weekly check-ins. It's helpful as we sit down with coaches to kind of see where are some patterns. It might help detect some patterns with hydration, with weight, with food. This is actually how Dan, my husband, realized when he eats a certain food at night, the next morning he tends to be more hungry. So this really is helpful despite the fact that it feels a bit repetitive day after day. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill in. I took my supplements this morning, so I'm checking those off. These affirmations here, this is just really taking the time to read that quote up above and remember the huge change in lifestyle that we're making. Celebrate that, stay encouraged, stay motivated. And then for lunch here, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in my veggies. I'm doing cucumber, doing peppers, tomatoes, and celery. Now, I don't have to write down how many ounces of each, but I know it was around 12 to 13 ounces just there. Proteins, I did 5 ounces of tuna is what I packed in terms of my can, and then fruit, I'm doing an orange. Honestly, I'm not super worried about calories since there's no calorie restriction. That's not something we track on a daily basis, so I don't tend to worry about that. But I will go ahead and fill in that water as the day goes on. If you ever are questions, there's a list of the proteins, the veggies, and the fruits back here, weighing our proteins, weighing our veggies, and then my fruit serving is what I can find here. Today I'm doing an apple and an orange, but on a given day you may do berries, and you just refer to this back flap for specifics. Part of my new routine that I've really come to enjoy is just spending some time each evening to reflect. Here in the journal, I love that there's a place to just, how did I feel? What changes did I notice today? And sometimes it'll just be a quick response of the basics of, did I exercise? How are bowel movements? Did I have good energy? Any changes to routine? But sometimes I really use this, and even if there's not enough space, like I have my own journal that I'll kind of transition to, but it's really helpful. We're making a major life change to lifestyles, social activities, everything during the active stage 2 of our program. And so just taking time to reflect on that. How are you feeling? Reconnecting with those primary motivators. What led you to say, yes, I want to make a change today? Reflect on that. How are you doing? How are you feeling? For me, just like willpower was something I found myself day after day. For the first week, I just felt like, oh my gosh, I'm saying no to all of these things, but what am I saying yes to? And so journaling at the end of the day is just so helpful to say, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it is incredible. As you look back and you see these patterns, you're like, I'm feeling better than I've ever felt before. It really is incredible. And so that's something I really appreciate. And I would encourage you to find a time in your day, find a spot that you really enjoy. For me, it's up here in the mountains. I just love this part of my day and remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing and making some of these healthy changes for the long run. So while I was upstairs journaling, Dan had already started to prep dinner for us tonight, which was just awesome. So here we've got some cut up vegetables, got onions, peppers, cabbage, tomatoes. We're gonna do some beef lettuce wraps for dinner. And so he went ahead and got those things prepped. I'm just gonna weigh them just to double check. Remember, 16 to 20 is the minimum per day. I think we did around 12 to 14 just for lunch. So we need at least 6 ounces, but can do plenty more. Oh, great. Getting about 16 ounces here. If you want to start these in a pan for us, babe. One of the big things is it's so important not to let any oil into our diet. So even just with sauteing veggies or proteins on the stove, we want to make sure we're not using a pan spray, no olive oil, because what we're doing is we're putting the body in a state of fat burning. So if it gets the option to not burn its own fat, but rather burn the fat that it's getting on the outside, it's gonna take it. So we wanna make sure we don't cut ourselves short on results, which is why I like to use for sauteing some of these coconut aminos. I think they're great, nice and sweet, gives it a good flavor, and it helps it not to stick to the pan. We also use a nonstick pan just to be sure. But grilling is great, steaming, baking. I also use a lot of the George Foreman and the crock pot, as well as the air fryer in this stage. I find it to be really helpful. So those are the veggies. I'm gonna leave these out because I'm gonna top some of our lettuce wraps with these. Next is our protein. So I did tuna for lunch, so we're doing something different for dinner here. We've got beef. So seafood ounces is 5 to 6 ounces raw, whereas a land protein like a beef or a chicken is gonna be 3 to 4 ounces. So for the two of us, it'll be 6 to 8. So I'm just gonna go ahead and measure that out and make sure. Kind of little by little until I see how much it is.
When it comes to cooking, you don't have to be a Michelin star chef. So what you're seeing here, even if this is too involved, it can be as simple as a George Foreman grill, like Danae mentioned, getting the barbecue out. As long as you're steering clear of those fats and oils and the sugars and some of what people consider carbs, the starches, potatoes, you're gonna do fine. We're always just a call or a text away. If you're feeling stuck or you just feel like you need some inspiration, don't hesitate to reach out. We've all been through the program. Most of our families have been through the program. We know what works. We know what's easy to grab from the store, pre-made, pre-cut, pre-washed. But this is just gonna give you an idea of how you can make a simple meal at home.
But I like to cook, so I'm having fun with it, which is why we're doing lettuce wraps tonight, something a little bit more intense. But herbs, seasonings, flavors, great on this stage. So garlic and some of the basics. I'm throwing in a little cayenne and cumin and onion powder. Feel free to add some of those things to help with your routine as well. So here we are, finishing up just a typical day in the life, and it's been fun to have you along with us, but finishing up dinner and all just a part of a glimpse into what a day in the life looks like.
I think sometimes there's going to be a little bit of, man, this is rough. You hit the first weeks a little bit hard, or you just hit those moments. Again, we're only a call away, a text away. And hopefully you just keep in your mind that this is just 40 days. You don't have to stay this way forever. However, we hope that you pick up some new lifestyle tips and tricks and really learn to love this vital life, this life that is based on whole foods and customized nutrition that's best for your body.
Yes, it is. You learn to love. Your body changes what it craves. You love whole foods, good foods. I feel like it's really fun. We've experimented with new recipes, brought in new veggies that we hadn't previously tried, or even new proteins, some of which
and sometimes it's a fail. It's a complete fail, and like this
have
taco right here, falling apart. But you just got to embrace it and know that you're changing your life.
And the taste. I feel like the big myth with healthy eating and healthy lifestyle is that the food is bland. There's no flavor, you miss your sauces, your dressings, but we've got awesome resources, awesome things to sell, products that just give it a great flavor. What do you think, babe?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It's delicious.
Good.
I did make it, but